So before I check the comment section of this video, let's think about it here for a second. Is following a trading strategy kind of dumb? I'm the first to say here in this video, I'm not trying to make the point either way. I just want you to think about it. I personally think it might lie somewhere in the middle. I think that having a trading strategy is good from like a general rule of thumb, like a simple framework, but also there's a lot of intuition that comes into play in trading that in often cases you're better off using the intuition as compared to a black and white strategy. So I don't know. Here in this video, I'm just going to show you a few different things and just kind of get you thinking. Let's get into it. Alright, so we'll start with Timmy here. Timmy's trying to learn how to trade. Timmy goes to YouTube to try to learn a trading strategy. And on YouTube, Timmy finds a millionaire Forex trader who has a trading strategy that utilizes the 50 moving average. Timmy learns that there's 3 simple rules to make millions of dollars trading Forex with this moving average strategy. The first rule is that price is above the 50 moving average on the 1 hour. The second rule is to buy when price touches the moving average. And the third rule is to put a stop loss under the previous low with a 1-to-1 profit target. As you can tell, Timmy's really excited about this new trading strategy, and so he goes to TradingView to test it. On TradingView, Timmy does all the usual bullshit. He goes and he finds a moving average, then he goes and he makes sure that the settings are to 50. And then, once he's got this all set up, Timmy begins to test his new strategy. Timmy gets to a point in the replay mode on TradingView where price sets up, it's above the moving average, it comes down to touch the moving average. So Timmy enters a trade as soon as it touches the moving average and he puts a stop loss below the previous low, just like what the strategy said to do. He uses a 1-to-1 profit target and then he lets everything play out. To Timmy's delight, price hits the fucking target and he feels like a god. So Timmy continues to the next trade. Timmy waits like a child in a long line at Disneyland and eventually price comes and sets up again. So he enters a trade as soon as it touches the moving average with the stop loss just under wherever the previous low is, and then he sets a 1-to-1 profit target, and then Timmy lets the trade play out. To Timmy's delight, again, price bounces and he makes profit. Now this has happened to us all at some point. We find a really simple strategy. We think it's going to be the secret to everything. It seems to work really well after the first 2 trades, and that's all the data we've gathered. And we feel like this whole trading thing is going to be so easy to follow. Simple trading strategy. Timmy's feeling this way right now. Timmy's feeling pretty good. Let's check back up on him. Now Timmy's really getting edged here as price continues up without ever coming back to touch the moving average. Just like a high testosterone young male watching a female Twitch streamer for 3 hours straight. And as luck would have it, price comes and touches the moving average. So after Timmy cleans himself up, he buys right there. He puts a stop loss underneath the previous low, which he thinks is right there, and he sets a 1-to-1 profit target, and everything is fine. Timmy's trade hits the profit target yet again. So Timmy, feeling God level over 9,000, feels like he finally has a trading strategy that works. I mean, it's worked the last 3 times. This is amazing. So price comes down, touches the moving average again, and he just does the same thing. He buys, he finds wherever he thinks the previous low is, he sets a stop loss past that area and a target of a 1-to-1, and then he just lets things play out. Now in this case, price goes and hits the stop loss. So Timmy looks back on his past 4 trades and he says he's won 3 and he's lost 1. So if he risked $100 on each of these trades, he would have made $300 on the winners minus $100 on the loser. He still made a $200 profit. This is amazing. This is the extent that most of our testing goes. We tested out a couple times on TradingView, then we immediately fund a $100 million live account, start to trade because it's very obvious we're going to be making millions the first week doing this. Timmy, feeling really confident, decides to switch it up and say that he'll take sells if price goes and touches the moving average. Same exact thing as before, but just vice versa. He sells at the moving average. He puts a stop loss past wherever he thinks the previous high is, in this case right here. Then he sets a 1-to-1 profit target. And it should work the same way as buying in an uptrend. Timmy's delighted to find out that his first trade taking a sell wins. So Timmy does the same thing again. He sells at the moving average. He puts his stop loss above the previous high, and he puts his target at 1-to-1, and he lets it play out. It drops straight into his profit target. Timmy's on fire. Now, Timmy's feeling like a quantitative analyst here because he's documented 6 trades, and this is the extent of all of his knowledge about trading so far with this strategy. He decides to round it off to lucky number 7 and take one more trade. His trade sets up, he sells at the moving average, stop loss above the previous high, and a 1-to-1 profit target. That trade hits the stop loss, but Timmy looks back at all of his data and he thinks, well, I won 3, 4, 5 trades, and then I lost 2 trades. So I made $500 and then I lost $200, and so I've still made a $300 profit. You see, Timmy believes in himself now. He's confident. He's a profitable trader. He's going to be doing this full time, and he's going to be able to tell his parents that he was able to do it on his first day trading. But something happens to Timmy. He tries to do this live. Trade after trade after trade, he loses. The first 3 trades that he takes, loses. Timmy begins to question himself and his entire trading career. And then as it turns out, on future trades, he finds that he's not even following the exact system he was using. He starts thinking, I don't have to wait for it to test the moving average. Maybe I'll just sell it and then it'll come back to the moving average and I can take a profit there and then enter the original buy I was going to take. And then if it starts bouncing, then I'll stay in it. He goes down this long rabbit hole, just a bunch of bullshit. And Timmy gets to the end of the trading week and sees that he's lost half of his $100 million trading account. And this is when Timmy, feeling sad inside, thinks to himself, this strategy doesn't work. Time for a new one. Timmy heads back to YouTube, learns from another millionaire guru a new strategy, and the cycle repeats. But you see, Timmy's not alone. He's got something called shiny object syndrome. And it leads to something in trading called system hopping, where you hop from strategy to strategy. Now, I did this for a long time myself. Like, it's where one thing works for a little bit, and then you try something else, and then you try something else, and it just never fucking ends. We shouldn't really feel too bad for Timmy because he's not alone. You've probably gone through the same exact thing, have you not? And there's only one thing you can really do to make a trading system profitable without going and finding an entirely new system, and that is to optimize the current system you have to make it better. Which is what leads me into the last part of this video, which is a little something I like to call intuition. Charles, my man, how are you? Yeah, I'm good too. Thanks for it. She's good. She just got out of the vet yesterday. What can we do for you? Yeah, no, it's not a problem. We can sell. No problem. How much Bitcoin would you like to sell? I'm sorry? No, it's not a problem at all. Of course. Yeah, let me just call my liquidity provider real quick, and I'll give you a call right back, Charles. Stefan, our client Charles, remember him from SVG? He wants to sell 69,000 Bitcoin. Well, we don't have the liquidity. It'll cause a market crash if we try to put the order in right now. Get all of our holdings net short on Bitcoin right now. We don't have the fucking time. The moment he puts this trade through, the whole market's gonna crash. Sell now. The best example I can give of intuition is it's that feeling that you get when you've been doing something for a long time and you feel like you know what's about to happen. Okay, so think about like riding a bike. Like, you can sit through a whole college lecture curriculum class with like a bullshit slideshow presentation teaching you how to ride a bike. But ultimately, you're never actually gonna get good at riding a bike until you just get out there and get some experience riding a bike. And so in trading, the way that we ride the proverbial bike is to just get our asses on the charts and just watch what happens over and over again over the course of years and years and years. And eventually, it gives you this applied experience, which becomes intuition. And you can use that intuition to generate wisdom. Now, what in the fuck does that actually mean? Well, it just means you can like look at a chart and essentially feel like you know what's actually going to happen without using an actual trading strategy. This is literally just like trading with zero trading strategy. It's like riding a bike without the training wheels. Like, the training wheels give you the guidelines and kind of keep you up and sort of center, but you can sort of do it yourself. But trading purely on intuition alone, using your applied experience over the course of years and years and years, it's like riding the bike with no training wheels, where You don't know all the exact things that you're doing, but you do know that you can ride that bike without falling down most of the time. And assuming that you do this like over and over and over for years and years and years, the same exact thing is true of trading. You look at a chart and you have no fucking clue what you're doing, but you do know for a fact that you can trade profitably and you can make a little bit more money than you lose over an extended period of time. I'll show you what I mean. So let's go look at my charts. Fucking camera. I have to bring the fucking camera. All right, so we're on the chart again. We're going to trade purely on intuition. I'm going to pick a random amount to scroll back, a number between 1 and 10. So we're going to count to 8, scroll back to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll click the replay tool. We'll click that there. And then, all right, so all the drawing, let's make sure all the drawings are clear. All right, and there'll be nothing but pure intuition in this one. That's it. Literally nothing. No indicators, no support resistance, no nothing. It'll just be like, do I think it's going up or down? And I'll try to explain it to the best I can. Even though the whole purpose of this, remember, is because intuition is kind of hard to explain because you can't really articulate it oftentimes. It's just a feeling you get. How the fuck do you explain that? So I think price is going to go up, but I'm going to wait for price to pull back a little bit, and then maybe I'll buy. We'll see. All right, so it pulled back, and then we bounced up. Okay, sweet. So let's just say I entered a buy right there. I'm going to put a stop just past these lows, and then a target up here at the previous resistance zone. So this one stops out, then it turns right back around. So that first little intuitive trade was wrong. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to wait for it to move somewhere else. Yeah, so it ended up moving up. It just took out my stop first. So I still think it's going to move up from here. So what I'm going to do is enter a buy right there with a stop underneath the previous lows and then a target of a higher high. Because if it's going to keep trending up, we should make a higher high. And if not, it'll hit the stop. So after much deliberation, finally gets to the higher high. So far, there's been one loss and then one winner. This one won like 1.5. That one was 1 unit of R, so up slightly. I think it's going to continue up, but I want to wait for a pullback first before getting long again. There we go. There's the pullback. So I'm going to buy this pullback there, put my stop underneath the previous lows here, and then target of a higher high. So we'll just put it up there. I don't know if this will work out anymore because it's tried too many times. So somehow this still ended up making a higher high, hit the profit target. We'll take like 2 more trades and then we'll see what the stats are. So I still think it's going to go up. I mean, I just feel like, I don't know, all this shit going up. I just feel like it's still going to go up. It wouldn't be an optimal area to enter like right there because I could pull back anywhere in here and then go up. So the risk reward's kind of weird. So I'm going to wait for it to pull back a little bit and see if I can get long again. Same thing. I'm going to wait for it to pull back some. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. That's a good pullback. So I think it's going to go up from here. I'm going to put my stop just under those lows and my target still of a higher high up here. And we'll let the stats play out. I may close this early if it starts going sideways. We'll see. All right, so this one goes up. So then we'll do our last one to get 5. We'll do 5 trades. I, not surprisingly, still think it's going to go up because it's been just going up and down, up and down. When is this? 2021? Yeah, February 2021. So it's still going up. I'm just going to wait for it to pull back and then buy again. Okay, so it went up from there. It couldn't pull back. Let me see if I can still get a pullback. Yep, this is just ripping upwards. I don't see anything here. If anything, maybe a sell opportunity. But we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. And now I'm scared to buy because now I've had a big pullback. Yeah, so now we're going down. Let's see. I'm going to keep letting it play out. I'm going to let my intuition speak to me. It's trying to go up into... This looks like it's going to try... Yeah, all right, this looks like it's going to try to go up from here. So I'm going to buy right there. I'm going to have my stop below the lows. And I'm going to have my target there at that previous high, since it's a big high that it just made. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to opt to close this on break even as it comes back near the entry, just because when it starts ranging like this, it's no longer in the direction. And since that is a thing you can do, if you don't have any trading rules, you could just choose to close early. That's that. So my intuition for the sake here was pretty good. Let's call this like half an R loss, just because it's not really break even. Let's call it like 1/4. We'll just call it 0.5 R of loss. And I just want to see what would have happened. What would have happened. And then we'll see if my intuition's right or wrong. Yep, so it's going up. It would have gone up, then it would have gone sideways, and up and down. I think it'll go up now from there. Let's see. Yep, and it would have hit the target. So, okay, cool. So that one, we'll call that minus 0.5 R. So if we tally up all of this, let's look at everything. The first trade was -1. The second trade was what? Plus 1.5 plus 2 plus 1.5. So plus 1.5 plus 2 plus 1.5 and then minus 0.5. All right, so this math works out to, if you are a whiz at math, you probably already got this down. -1 plus 1.5 is 0.5 profit, plus 2 is 2.5 profit, plus 1.5 is 4R minus 0.5. So that is 3.5 R profit that we're left with. So over the course of just this pair, starting from January, whatever the hell this was, 27th to March 5th. So this was about, like a little over a month. That would have been 3.5 R. That was just trading on intuition. And if you'll look, like, there might have been things that you could have done to have made this like an actual like trading strategy, like a trend line bounce or some shit like that. But ultimately, like, having too many rules can constrict your performance, because then you end up doing weird things that don't feel right because they technically align with the system. And so that's why I'm like in the middle about like, okay, let's have a basic trading approach. Like let's try to get at least a 1-to-1 risk reward. So that way, if we're right a little more than half the time, we'll make a little bit more money than when we lose. And let's try to have, like, I don't know, like actually feel like what direction makes sense and wait for entries that make sense. And if it looks like it's going up, let's try to take buys. If it looks like it's going sideways, let's try to leave it alone. If it looks like it's going to go down, let's take sells, like if it's a downtrend. But ultimately, no real trading rules. All right, so we're just going to chat a little bit about what we think the best way to trade is. What do you think the best way to trade is? I think it's like having a balance of both trading rules and then also experience, using your intuition and stuff like that. I think it's the best. What about you? Pretty much like same thing as you. Like, I think that it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think that like you can have like a set of like basic guidelines and rules, kind of like, yeah, like a little like couple trading rules, and you can combine that with experience over the time to start knowing when you're able to bend those trading rules to do something different, because that's like the art of discretion, subjective, context-based decision making, pretty much intuition. Yeah, I mean, intuition, it's not like it's anything different that you would do in everything else of your life. People use intuition every single day to help them make decisions, and that's what makes the world go around. Yeah, I mean, I can totally see that. Like, I think a lot of people struggle a lot with like just getting the experience to be able to do the same thing over and over and over and not hop around to different trading systems. So that way, if they can do the same thing over and over and then optimize it, make it better over time, I think they'll have a better chance at becoming profitable, because they're working on one thing and then optimizing that one trading approach instead of hopping around to a bunch of different strategies over and over and ultimately never really finding any consistency. Yeah. I think that's where we're at, guys. Like, if you're learning trading and you're trying to get everything together, I think you should take some basic trading rules and then just stick to that one thing and test it and make it better over time. That way you let your trading rules and experience both come together. So, good job, man. Thanks, man. You too. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do this, because, like,